Music is a vehicle that can take you anywhere you want to go, anytime you want to be there. No matter what you do, why you do it, who you choose to do it with or for, music will ensure that the moment is always just right. The saxophone is the luxury sports model of all vehicles that insists that you experience the ultimate groove that sets the mood for whatever you choose. Mighty Horn Music presents the COVID Concert Series with saxophonist Travis Bridges. Live from the Hollywood Home Studio. Smooth jazz, top 40, R&B, inspirationals, and more. Thank you for tuning in. You are now on a musical first-class journey to anywhere you want to be.
And of course, that place would be right here from the Hollywood Home Studio. Guess what y'all got just now? You got the live introduction for the COVID Concert Series. And if you ask me why, I'll tell you. Let me tell you why. It's because I'm kind of sort of at the Hollywood Home Studio revised. And I don't have everything I need that I'm supposed to have, but we made it work because guess what? I am here. Welcome to the swimming pool. This is the swim edition. SWIM is the acronym for Say What You Mean, because it's very important that we say what we mean. And if you ask why, I will tell you why. So thanks for asking. The reason is because it's easy to get twisted or get confused when someone is talking, especially if they're texting. You ever got a text message and you look at your phone, you be like, what? What did they say? Or even in the middle of a conversation and you're just not feeling it. It's very important if you're having a conversation, particularly if there's a misunderstanding or conflict, that you figure out a way to work it out and you take the time to work it out. So that's what I'm here for. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm just a guy who has had enough experience to realize that there's not a situation or problem in the world that can't be resolved if, first of all, we want to. If, first of all, we can be honest. If, first of all, we really want the truth. And I said, first of all, about 8 times. So all those first of all was like in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 8th. Bottom line is this. If you really want to be at peace, you have to invest, and you have to invest a little time. So think right now, is there anybody that you are not at peace with? The reason you're not at peace with them is because you haven't heard their side, and maybe they haven't heard your side long enough for the two of you to make an adult decision to walk away and be at peace without rolling eyes, cussing, saying something about somebody. You're no better than me, and I'm no better than you. And just because you may not like what I said or how I said it doesn't mean that I'm better or worse than you. We have to be okay with what we find if we search for the truth, and we do indeed find it. So with that being said, I have a special edition tonight. We're calling this the Pajama Jiberish. I have 2 of my closest friends with me tonight, and they are right here. I want to say they're in the studio, but we're kind of sort of at my kitchen table. And I'm going to put them on camera in a few minutes, and we're going to have a conversation, and we're going to talk. And what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about talking, because I believe if you talk enough and you're open for the truth, you will indeed get that. What are the subjects tonight? Well, they kind of sort of came off the hip, and they're going to be easy, but they're probably going to lead into something else. 2 topics. Life post initial pandemic. So when this initial subject was brought up, it was like life after the pandemic. And then the thought that, hey, the pandemic is not over yet. So then I had to change it. How about life post pandemic? Well, still, the pandemic is still not over. So then I had to now come up with the real and true topic is life post initial pandemic. Because we have seen a change since the very first rollout of all the stuff that came with COVID. So we're going to talk about life post initial pandemic, and we're going to talk about the other subject. You ready for the topic? It's called disablement. And when that subject was talked about, we called it handicap. And then we said, well, we can't call it that because it just wouldn't be cool. And then someone said, well, yeah, let's call it disablement. And then the person said, well, it's the new racism. And I was like, no, we can't do that. How about discrimination? I understood what they were talking about, but I just kind of wanted to revise it. And that's what we did. We talked about it, and we came to a conclusion where we would call it disablement, how we're treated, and whether or not disablement is a form of discrimination, because people do feel when they're either in a wheelchair or on crutches, or they can't get around quick or fast enough, that people that are not on wheelchairs and crutches kind of push them around. So they are feeling a little salty about that if they can't move fast enough. And after the pandemic, some people say, oh my God, my business, my home, my life has been wrecked. And then some people say, no, it was good for me. So with that being said, I would normally go to a commercial, but I've got guests tonight and we want to be on good behavior, so we're not going to have any commercials. What I'm going to do right now is introduce my guest by letting them introduce themselves. Everybody, please put your hands together and give it up for my friends. Wait a minute. I've got to put y'all on camera. Hold on a second. My friends. Okay, look, this is the camera you look into. Wait. Okay. Now, you didn't call me. You have to call me. Y'all excuse us for a moment. Okay. Hold on a second. We were supposed to do this earlier, but we didn't. So now I need.
really do. We can't just go through there.
Oh, look at that. Hold on a second. Slow down. Hold on. I messed up your number. Hold on. Wow. How do I do this? Okay. My fancy dial-up phone. Yes. You're gonna answer it.
But then I have it on my.
No. You might have to go to speaker and just put it over there, because we're kind of we're rigging this up tonight. Thank you guys. How's everybody doing tonight? Wow, I have 4 people here, but nobody's showing up in my room. I have 9 people. Do I have chat off? No, you're here, Melanie. Yeah. Is your line coming up? That's what happens. Oh, because I dialed the wrong number. What if somebody had answered and said, like 911, may I help you? Oh man, now I'm gonna say. Thank y'all, my guests that are waiting with me. Let me put my friends back on camera, una mas, so y'all can look at them for a little while. Okay, now you should be getting that call. Okay, let's see you answer it and see what happens. And then I guess if my is that you or me? Oh no, that's not. You know what? I did it again. Hey, listen, don't y'all start. Wow, and now he's telling me that I missed a call. One more time. Hold on a second. Yeah. Oh, I got it. Okay, now you guys are not on camera anymore. Let's try it again. Yeah, that is your number. You know, I don't know many people's number by heart, but I kind of know yours.
Hello, you have.
Oh! Did it not ring? No. How about you dial mine? You dial mine. Thank you guys for being patient with us. This is going to be good in a few minutes. Listen, we're not where we're going yet. Listen, I have a vision. This live stream is really going to take off. And I'm out in the street sometimes saying, hey, check out my live stream. And I'm asking people to subscribe, to my channel. And I know some of my favorite YouTube people, they're like out there now. And I remember when they started, oh, this is you?
No,
oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to fix that. Well, we could have done that. Oh, wow. Look at this. Oh, my goodness. Which one do I hit? Okay, just keep it there. Hold on. Let's see. All right, here we go. Oh, yeah, that's not going to work. Oh, my God. See why you needed your headset? I'll tell you what. No, just put it on and then transfer it to her when it's ready. Did you hang it up?
Yeah, because you don't hear the feedback?
I know, but if you had just connected it, then we wouldn't have the feedback.
Connected. That's what you were hearing too.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So listen, could you guys listen? We're gonna listen.
That's all right.
Thank you guys for being patient with us. We're gonna work it. Okay, but if my my people were here, they could tell me. If you're listening and you can send me a message or something to let me know you can hear my guests. Could y'all count to 5 real fast? Alona, count to 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Let me see if I can see a level. Count to 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That sounds like you're in a hallway, but go ahead. Count.
1, 2, 3.
Oh my God, your mouth is really big, but that's why I love you. Okay, so okay, here we are. So introduce yourselves, and then we're going to get right on into the topic. So we're going to roll with what we have. So speak really loud so that we can hear you over here. Go ahead.
All right. I'm Lona Strong, and I am a friend of Travis Bridges. Very proud.
And I am Melanie Clark. And I'm a friend of Travis Bridges as well.
And my name is Travis, and these are my very close friends. And let me tell you what we have in common. We're all Cancerians. We have birthdays that are close, and we try to get together and celebrate those birthdays and do things. We're kind of alike in different ways, if that make any kind of sense. They are the two people that I love so dearly, but if anybody ever got on my nerves, it was especially this one. Y'all can't see who I'm pointing at, but especially this one. But I guess the people you love, they do kind of wreck your nerves a little bit. So we're just going to leave that alone for now. But let's jump right on into the subject. And, Christine says she can hear me. Hey, Christine, how you doing? Y'all say hey to Christine.
Hi, Christine.
All right, Christine says she can hear me. But then, Christine, I need to know if you can hear them. If you can hear them, we're going to really go rocking and rolling. Can you hear my guest? Christine, text that in there. After she answers, then we're going to say, okay. Because my moderator is not here. The one that I pay well did not show up. I guess I'm going to either have to find someone that will work for what I pay or find someone that will take their job serious. So she says she can hear me, and I don't know why it's taking so long. But are you guys ready? You remember the topic? So let's go with disablement. And if by chance it is a personal experience, it's okay. So tell me, Lona, what are your thoughts on disablement? Speak up real loud and then share your thoughts with me in regards to
Thank you, Christine, for responding.
Well, personally, I can say that I've experienced being discriminated against. Temporarily, I had a knee replacement, and it happened about 8 weeks ago. And so I've been able to experience how people treat me as a handicap, being disabled.
Okay, you said handicap, and I don't know why we get away from that word. Why are we ashamed to say handicap? We become so sensitive these days. But so you almost said it, but then you corrected yourself.
Well, because it's temporary for me.
Okay.
So, out of respect, I said disabled.
Okay, I get it. So what she's saying, in case they can't hear you, because I'm not convinced that they're being, she said she recently had a knee replacement, and she is temporarily disabled, at the moment, and she has been experiencing some forms of discrimination, and she wants to talk about it. And I think it's a good subject to talk about, because guess what? You may be, walking pretty good or talking pretty good or, driving pretty good today, but one day you may not, and you would want someone to be considerate of you should you find yourself in that position. So she's going to share her experiences, in regards to what she's been experiencing in regards to discrimination. So tell me your story.
As I explained to you, I had an incident where 2 people attempt to run me over because I apparently was not moving fast enough for them in front of the gym, and thankfully 2 young brothers came out and hit the hood of the car to get the woman to stop. And there was no reason. I was walking across on a cross lane, and I had my cane, so it was obvious that I was only able to move so fast. And I've also been discriminated by someone taking my parking space, just cutting me off when I'm trying to walk into a store because I wasn't walking fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just really made me aware of how the injustice for disabled people.
Now, were you aware of that prior to your disablement, or had it just caused you to be more alert? I mean, were you all?
It made me more alert. I wasn't as aware, but it definitely brought it to my attention because I'm not able to do certain things that I could do before.
Right. So moving forward, now that you kind of know what,
I will be an advocate.
Right. Good for you. What are your thoughts, Melanie? in regards to her disablement. Because now I want to say something about her, because let's just say, let me come back here. Let's just say, because I mean, as much as I'm on your side, and I'm going to think about the driver for just 1 minute, okay? Let's just say the driver was doing something crazy and she had to, let's go on and do it. Let me go to you first. I won't even say that because I'll save it for later. Let me get your thoughts first. So go ahead.
Surprised. Well, I shouldn't be surprised because a lot of
louder. You need to.
First I'm surprised to hear that you've had these experiences, but then I'm not, because people always want to say they're in a hurry, they're busy, and we live in a very impatient world, right? So people are impatient just by people driving, and they want to get over, or they want to go this way, or even if the light turns yellow and you don't stop, you stop, they're mad, because you should have ran through the light, because God forbid they can arrive somewhere 2 minutes late or what have you. So I'm sad that you've been having that experience, but I'm also glad that there were some people that came to your assistance with that.
I also felt that I was summed up for some young gentlemen trying to figure out, can we rob her? Is she gonna chase
wow.
us? Yes, it's been it's been an enlightening experience.
That is unbelievable.
I'm so sorry to hear that. I really am.
But
so
you know what? It's one of those things. Like it brought up the awareness. Like you probably never thought about it before because you hadn't had that experience, and now you've had it, and now So like you said, you're going to be an advocate for these people, and also you're training us. We can learn through your experience as well.
Exactly.
And be more observant of how we respond to people who have disabilities. I do try to be like, even today when I went to Publix, there was a woman having difficulty stepping up. And I asked, can I help you? And she had a cane and she was trying to lean onto there's like poles. And she says, no ma'am, I'm okay. I said, you sure? She says, no. But I have a friend that's have difficulty walking, and I always drop her off at the front and park. She said to me, she says, you always think of ways to make it more comfortable for me. I don't have to even ask because I know it's a struggle. And I don't want her to feel uncomfortable because it's already uncomfortable. She's already uncomfortable as it is personally. So whatever I can do to make that easier for her, I do it. I'm always thinking of that with her. So
because
I guess
that's your nature,
right?
That's our male.
And with that being said, what we're talking about, if you by chance you're just joining us, we're talking about disablement and how people are discriminated against who find themselves disabled or find themselves in a situation where they can't move, as she was saying, fast enough. And I will share one of my experiences. I haven't had that misfortune of being temporarily handicapped or disabled, but riding a bike, I like to ride my bike. And I can tell that, a difference, people, I don't think they discriminate. I just think that they're just not cautious, as they probably should be, for pedestrians on bikes or that are walking. And I wouldn't call it discrimination, but I just think, we're bringing awareness to being overall cautious of people who are a little less protected. When we're in a vehicle, we have thousands of pounds of metal around us to protect us. But when someone is walking or riding a bike or even just standing, we have to be a little more cautious and more careful, especially during the holidays. People are out and about. Watch that foot and put that phone down and pay attention to what you're doing, because if you kill somebody, you're going to feel bad. And yes, I said it, you could kill somebody, and we don't want you killing anybody, okay? With that being said, we're going to move on to our other topics. You guys have any more to say on that before we move on? No. Oh, wow. Not everybody at one time. Okay.
I did want to mention something.
Okay, go ahead.
Off topic, and you can slap me if I'm being wrong.
Never.
Today, and I think this is a good conversation actually, but today, Jada Pinkett Smith have the red tabletop, whatever.
Now, I never heard of that, but I've heard of the swim. Say what you mean.
Yeah.
So what's the red tabletop?
Anyway, she has people come to the red table and talk about different things.
Mm-hmm.
But today the subject matter was people who have accidentally killed someone.
Oh.
Let me tell you. Woo!
I was gonna let you know.
And because you said you could kill somebody.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wanted to be bold, because
Right,
I'm not shy.
That too. But let me tell you, it really can happen. They said 30,000 people die each year from accidents. This is accidents. So they had 4 people. But one of the biggest things, only what I want to share. A man and his girlfriend were driving. He got in an accident. The girlfriend was killed in the accident. But the parents of the girl treated him amazingly. They loved on him. So they brought the father to the table and said, how were you able to cope with this grief? He said, which was unbelievable, I treated him like Laura wanted me to have treated him.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord, you said.
Laura, his daughter.
Oh, Laura, okay.
He said, that is the only thing I can explain to you. I knew how she would want me to respond to what happened. And that is why he is still very close. He's a godfather to his child, not their child they had together.
Mm-hmm.
But this man went out of his way. He says, we lost one, we didn't lose 2. And even though that one was his kid. And I think it touched me so much today.
My question was it a real true accident though? He wasn't charged with anything, right?
He wasn't charged. They didn't look at him because there was drinking involved. But he was not charged with manslaughter or vehicle manslaughter. He wasn't charged.
Mm-hmm.
And all the people, they had 3 people on the show. All of them killed someone. One of them, a brother, playing with a gun, shot his brother. And then another one, a lady was driving down the road. There happened to be a little ditch in the road. And in that ditch, that's probably why she didn't see the man. They figured out because when she looked, he was in the ditch part, so it created a blind spot for her, and she ended up hitting him, and he died. So people were talking about how do you come from that? How do you forgive yourself, and then people forgive you? But these are true accidents. This is not a criminal act. Because they happen, and we probably all know someone that has had an unfortunate experience of somebody killing someone else.
Yeah. And
how do you go from that? So,
taking your life.
Yeah. Be careful, be safe, treat the disabled people nicely.
Texting and driving.
Texting and driving, and just things happen. Unfortunately, things happen.
Awesome. Thank you so much. With that being said, be mindful, as she just said, and be careful out there on the highway. We're going to move on to the next subject. Hey, Kimberly, how you doing? Christine is with me, and Winning with Melanie is not only online, she's right here in person. Thank you so much for hanging out. We're going to talk about your little winning thing, too, before we go, considering you only have like 30 more seconds before you have to go. But we'll talk about that later. We're going to talk about life post initial pandemic. So tell me, how has the pandemic been for you? And let me just start with me. Well, no, maybe I won't, but I will. I'll start anyway, since you're giving me the looks. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, I am grateful, to be healthy. I'm grateful to not have been hit as hard. But I think my attitude is I'm going to keep moving anyway until I'm down and totally out, until I have no more breath. I'm going to keep going. So as cautious as I've had to be, I haven't let it stop me. Yes, I've had to move slower. Yes, I've had to wear my mask and wash my hands a little more. But I can't say I'm fortunate to say it didn't affect me, as much. I don't know. I'm about to think of how other things that did happen did. So I'm just going to go ahead. I knew I shouldn't have started this. But anyway, how has it affected you, Melanie? Has the pandemic, first of all, has it been good or bad for you? Can you say?
I'm going to say good for me. And the reason why, there has been a tremendous change in there's been a tremendous change in my job structure because of COVID, right? So pandemic happened, offices shut down, I started to work from home, and that is something that was not on the table prior to COVID, right? During this whole period of time, because I was working at home, all the other people in my office was working at home, my boss says to me, oh, well, I can work at home from anywhere. And so he has moved to Texas. And it's been awesome in that the fact that I don't have anybody physically here to quote unquote answer to, I guess, right? So that part has been actually good for me. I'm enjoying more of the flexibility with my job than I've had in the past, and I like it.
Okay, good. How about you, Lona?
Well, I can say the pandemic probably saved my life.
Mm-hmm. How so?
Because I'm spending more time with me and for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was commuting 2 to 3 hours a day, stuck in traffic, that tension that you experience. I'm home, and I didn't realize until the pandemic how much time I spent away from home.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always busy with different activities. I've really been able to spend time with my family, meaningful time with my family that I would probably not have spent before. So I've been out, traveling, but I've been able to only do local things and visit family within the state. So that's been really nice. I have a great meditation, spiritual practice that I do daily from home. I feel the energy in my home is different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can sage my home throughout the day. The windows are open. The vibration is different, and I feel I can spend more time with my friends, and we have intimate conversations. It's not rushed. You know, we're here. Can put the phones down. So it's and I'm working from home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I will say, I guess there's a bigger picture. I've heard both of you talk about work. And of course, you guys know me for a long time. You know, just the word work kind of bothers me. And I really think, that people who have jobs, so to speak, should have more flexibility, the flexibility that we're being forced to have, with people being able to work from home and be with their families. And even now, not even having to go to work, so many things are happening. Even the government is, doing things to help people. Just the word work, it just doesn't seem fair. We all have gifts, skills, and talents, and we should be able to exchange those gifts, skills, and talents for, means. If I could quote the Bible, it says your gifts will make room for you. You should be able to find, whatever it is you do and provide that service for someone so that you're not going to work. I think it's as a poll, Les Brown says most people have, heart attacks on Monday mornings between 8 and 10 a.m., and it's usually stress related due to work. So I'm not knocking people who want a job or who want to work, because who else is going to do some of the work that some people just don't want to do? But the grand scheme of things, I think you should do something that, so it doesn't seem like work, because most people don't like their jobs. And the people that do, they have therapists that help them.
I'm truly blessed to say that I have a job that I've done for 20 years. As of last month, that I love my job.
Mm-hmm.
I love my job. I love my coworkers. We're like an extended family because we've been together for so long.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Well, yeah, not everybody can say that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if you do ask, most people, there was a song I remember being on the radio. It's called I Hate to Go to Work. I don't know if you remember that song. It was a morning show, a joke song. But most people don't like to go to work, and I don't mind doing what I do. when I write commercials or produce them, or when I go out and play my saxophone, I love doing that. And I like it whenever I quote my rate and people pay me. It doesn't feel like I'm working, and it's not stressful. So I am anti-job and anti-work. So I don't even like to use those words. So when I hear people saying it, I know what they mean, but as it relates to the subject, post-pandemic and how it's been hitting everybody, being able to stay home and have more flexibility is a good thing. And I think more people will feel that their life is being saved, and, they are enjoying it a whole lot better. So good for you. Good for you guys. All right. Now that is out the way, we're going to talk about something else. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but we had a little subject before the show started, and I hope I don't get in trouble for this. We're going to talk about...
Why are you looking at me like that?
Why not?
You already know.
We're going to talk about being straightforward and true. Saying what you mean and mean what you say is the title of the live stream. I don't know what has happened to me. One of my friends used to say, a bee got in my bonnet. That means like something happened, a bee in your hat. That'll, it's just a figure of speech. But something happened to me where some time ago I thought that if I would be straightforward with what I say, that it would make a difference. But I have found that it has almost been the opposite. Because when I try to be straightforward, it doesn't work. So I think I want to talk to y'all about what it means to say what you mean and mean what you say, and what it means when someone else takes what you say out of context. Now, the subject we were talking about, so let's don't talk specifically and directly about that, because that's just between us. But the principle of what we were talking about, you can be straightforward about something, whether it's a business, whether it's in your household, whether it's with your neighbors, and even on some contracts. People are not willing to accept the truth if it doesn't go with what they want. So I want to have a conversation with the 24 minutes we have left of what do you do when you are straightforward and someone just may not understand or just may not like the outcome of either the truth or the facts. So which one of you want to go first? Lona, you go first.
Well, there's not much you can do, but the key is communication.
Okay.
So whatever you need to, you may need to digress, or
as in take time.
Exactly.
Take time
to speak in layman's terms so the person you're speaking with understands what you're saying.
Okay.
That was my point.
Okay, I get it. Now, I guess here's the bigger picture, though. Understanding sometimes, and I'm going to say in most cases, it almost doesn't matter. We're trained to follow our feelings, even our beliefs sometimes. There's a difference. You can believe something that's not true. You can even feel something that may not even be factual. I'm now trying to talk about what do you do when you are faced with something that you don't like or don't want that is truth and factual. How do you deal with that? I mean, what do?
You have to be true to yourself.
Good answer.
Because what you may believe, I may think completely different.
Okay,
but as long as we respect each other's opinion, because I may not agree with you, but I'm going to respect your honesty. And I'm going to respect if you can take the time to look at things from my perspective. That's all I ask. Because we're always going to see things differently.
Right.
Because you're a man and I'm a woman. So we're designed that way.
Now, I do have a friend. I do have a therapist myself. She's a really close friend of mine, and we kind of get into it a lot about, someone else's truth, what someone else thinks. She says that's their truth. And then, I get that whole thing, but we have to have, or there's something that I call points of reference. There is, there's the saying that says there's three sides of the story. There's their side, and then there's the truth. Well, if
Who
you
determines what's the truth?
well, I wouldn't say who as much as what, but I think that's why I use the term points of reference.
Okay.
There's a speed limit out there on the highway that says, okay, in this residential neighborhood, it's 25 miles per hour. That's a point of reference.
Okay.
I may believe it should be 35. You may think it should be 15, but it's already set that, okay, the point of reference is it's 25 miles an hour. It's a law.
It's a law.
Okay. So in communicating, as you said, and talking, if you get to what the truth is or what the facts are, you have to be okay with saying there is a truth or facts that lead to the truth. So anytime you're having any kind of conversation with someone, whether you believe it or not, or whether it's someone's opinion or not, the truth has to be sought after and found based on, I guess I could use another one of my terms, universal principles and or points of references. There is truth in communication and conversation. There is truth in misunderstandings. Whether you believe them or not, or accept them or not, or like them or not, is another story. So I guess when I just heard you say, if you feel good that someone listens to you, if someone listens to you, how do you still get to the bottom of the truth if someone is not willing to accept it? Because I think that is the biggest problem we have
That's
with.
the key, is I don't need you to accept it because it's your truth. So how you see things is one way, I'm going to see them another. I just need you to be open to listen to my perspective. You don't have to agree. And maybe the problem is that we spend so much time trying to force each other to agree.
I think that's a very valid point. We think that there has to be one answer. Yes and no, like you like to use a lot of.
I definitely like to use yes and no, and I hear what you're saying, and I agree with what she said 100%. But I bring this, the reason I have this live stream in particular is because of conflict. I'm really speaking of resolving conflict. You do have to find a place of resolve. You don't have to like it. If there's a conflict, if let's just say, you and I, we are disagreeing about something, we've got to be wise enough or humble enough or open enough to stay in each other's presence till we have a conversation to where we reach a resolve. I think the issue of not liking it, is where, that's why there are problems in the world, because we may not like what's already set up as universal principles, points of references, and or law. So I think it is very important. You can listen, and we should listen and hear each other out, but we have to, find a resolve. And yeah, and it's necessary. And you say, people use the term saying agree to disagree. That's never been one of my favorites, because agreeing to disagree is kind of like an oxymoron. If you agree to disagree, there's no resolve still. I think we need to come to the truth, about an issue. When I say we, I'm just saying, generally speaking.
Well, and I think it all depends upon the issue.
Okay, I have a few examples, but I'd like to hear it. I'm a firm believer that nothing cannot be resolved if people are interested in the truth, and there is a truth based on universal principles, points of references, and or law. If a law says something, if it is a principle, if it is a point of reference, and we interact enough to present truth, and I hear you and you hear me, as you said, when we get to the bottom, it's like, okay, if a hole is 12 feet deep and we dig 10 feet, we didn't get to the bottom. But if we dig a little bit more and we find the gold there, then we don't have to dig anymore. There is gold in the hole because the gold would be either a universal principle, a point of reference, or a law. We just have to dig through the conversation or the communication process to get to it. So I don't believe there's nothing that can't be resolved if everyone is following, point of, and that's why we have, that's why that's why there is gravity. No one can argue that gravity on Earth, I don't care how much you like it or disagree with it. If you jump off the building, you're going to fall and you're going to come down unless you have a parachute or wings. So I believe that if two people or a group of people or countries, even worlds, want the truth, it's about talking. And you don't even have to compromise because the truth is the truth. You don't have to like it or accept it, but you do have to find resolve. And there's not enough resolve in the world because attitude or egos get in the way. So
true.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Pick a subject for me, Melanie. I know you have to go in about 2 more minutes. So with your last 2 minutes, come on. Share something good with me. The holidays. What do you think about overspending during the holidays?
Well, I hope nobody does that. I don't agree with it, but I can see how it happens.
Yeah, we just changed that subject real fast, but go ahead.
It happens. People get forced into doing something that they don't have to, but they get forced based on traditions, based on what they've done in the past, based on guilt from that year of what may have happened,
expectations,
all sorts of things that are trying to make something right from something they did wrong. So it's just one of those things. But I think as a people, for me too, I think we have to try to sometimes question some of the things we do, because some of the things we do are so automatic we don't even know why.
Wow, that's where I was going. I just wanted you to lead me there, so thank you.
And me and my girlfriend talk about this all the time. It's like, we'll just do that because that's what my mama did. That's what my grandmama did.
Mm-hmm. That's what everybody else is doing.
So when we do something different, why are you doing that? Why? And they don't even know why they were doing it.
Right.
But because it's so ingrained in us to do certain things certain ways, it's really hard when you try to deviate from that tradition. And sometimes some people we creating new traditions.
Mm-hmm.
So I think sometimes we have to question it, and our kids sometimes help us to do something different because they're like, well, why do you do it that way? And you'd be like, oh, I don't know, right?
Their own custom.
Exactly.
Yes.
Especially if you don't know the answer as to why you do it.
Right.
That definitely is a reason as to why you should probably question it. But some things, if you guys had a conversation, maybe it was something that was passed down, communicated, and you know why you're doing it, that's different. But then you know what kills me with these whole traditions? One of the things I don't like is some of them have this fairy tale of not being true, right? So, for example, I went to my girlfriend's house and it was sprinkling a little rain. So she came out to get something out of the car. Her son comes out.
Oh, Kimberly says, hey, by the way.
I know she has So
I forgot you're monitoring. Go ahead.
So the son comes out and she's like, oh my God, go in the house, put something on your head, you ain't get a cold. And he looked at her like, he says, I played football in the rain and I never got a cold. But because her mother told her, you can't be in that rain, you can't get wet because you're going to get sick, right? That we try to give that to our kids, and we don't even want them to play in the rain. This is something so simple. It was so ridiculous. Me and my friend were talking about, you never play in the rain because your parents would be like, oh no. You cannot get your hair wet. You can't be out there getting sick. You gonna get ringworm. You gonna get all this stuff. And in COVID, it was raining, and my friend took my niece outside to play in the rain. And she came outside. She says, "I've never done this." She's 18 years old, and said, "I have never played in the rain." And she's like, "Oh my God, I can't even believe it." And then she had to coerce her to go out in the rain. And that's because growing up, it was never something you could do because the grandmother couldn't do it because her mother told her you couldn't do it, and her mother told her you couldn't do it. And why the hell? Why not? Why can't you play in the rain? She felt like a little kid. She was so giddy because it's a beautiful thing when you can play in the rain. But sometimes we don't let our something so simple, but has been taken away for years, and we don't even know why. Because maybe you're gonna get a cold. But let the children play in the rain. Let them do things. So for me, most people know my house is the house that people come by, right? And I've always been open to a lot of kids. I don't have any kids, but I've always been open to kids. But one of the reasons why the kids are...
you have kids.
Yes, I do. So one of the reasons why the children like to come to my house is because it's free. I'm not going to sit up and say, you can't play on that couch, you can't do this, you can't touch that. We don't have dishes in my house you can't use. Like, what is that? My girlfriend said, why you always, when I send her pictures of my food, why is it always on a plate? Because, why not? She said, I don't use my plates. I use paper plates, but I want to buy some really nice plates. I said, but you're not going to use them?
And leave them for somebody when you die?
Yeah. What is that? And so one of my girlfriends, she called me and she says, my kid wants to come. My kid says they miss going to your house because there they can be kids. Yeah. And that is always something I wanted for myself. I always wanted to be around kids because I could never bring kids to my house. That's another thing. When we go older, I could never bring kids to my house. I just said, I don't want my kids over here. So I am trying to, all those things that you grew up on, those different traditions and those different upbringing cultures or whatever, trying to, if they didn't work or if it made no sense, trying to change them, cancel them, do something else, because some of them, the day is not real.
And on that note, I tell you, I guess, I get teased by even y'all, about my ways. It really is, it stems from that. I learned a long time ago, I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. I don't want to do, I don't want to do something just because. And, I kind of get kicked around a little bit. You guys get on me pretty good about being whatever you want to call it. But I like blazing my own trail. And I don't think I harm anybody. Yes, I do take my time before I commit to something or someone or anything. Yes, I won't make a commitment because if I tell you I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. So sometimes I'm a little slow. You ask me, are you going to come? It's like, let me wait. Let me wait.
Is that, so you trying to say that's because it's a tradition?
No.
But you can say, let me wait. But I can also make the decision, I don't want to be bothered with that.
I get it.
Right?
I know. But I know. And you listen, and you have, listen, I've missed quite a few of your planes as a result of that. And I still love you. Yeah. My point is, because of that very same thing is why I don't just, easily just follow the crowd or follow, I just don't. And everything that I am and I do has to do with not trying to do what everything, what is expected of me or what's considered the norm,
But is it really that, though, Travis?
Well, then,
if somebody asks you, you say that you don't.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, it's about to get personal right now. Okay, go ahead.
Well, let's just say if you get invited somewhere and you don't want to go, right? For whatever reason, you could just say that.
Okay.
You don't have to say, I'll tell you tomorrow at 2 p.m. and let you know if I'm going or not.
Let me explain that. First of all, if I don't want to go, I will say I don't want to go. But what it is I don't want to do is make the decision right then. Because if I say I'm going to go and then...
Is something better come around?
No. Well, something better, something different, something good, bad, ugly. if at that moment I decide I don't want to go, I don't want to commit to it unless it is something like maybe, a job. If it's just something like a party or a hangout, I probably will hold off on committing. So it's not that I don't want to go. So if I just don't want to make the commitment at that moment.
Oh, so this is about commitment then.
I think everything about me is about my word and commitment. So yes. So I mean.
So it's easier to say.
Not easier. Go ahead.
Okay, so you don't like to commit unless you know 100% unequivocally you're coming.
Isn't that when isn't that a best way to commit?
I'm just saying, is that the way you commit? That's the way you prefer. Is that what you're telling me?
I want you to tell me one thing I told.
No. I'm not telling you if it's good or bad or whatever.
I told y'all it was going to get personal.
All I would, if you don't feel 100% that you can make that or come,
then I won't do it. I won't. And even if I do, and if it's not going to be life or death, like let's just say, when you were getting married, I committed and said I was going to be there 6 months ahead of time, because that was, huh? You would have missed that. No, I wouldn't have missed that. I committed to that because that wasn't something, and I wanted to be there. And there's nothing, unless I was not alive and breathing, I would not have missed that. Or anything. I feel that same way. If I tell you I'm going to do it, that's why my commitments don't just come easy. Because if I don't decide I don't want to go at 2 o'clock when it starts at 3 o'clock, I don't want to go back on my word. And I'd rather you be mad at me for not giving you an answer than for me to just be walking in there with a sour face being mad. So yes, I know it's frustrating that I don't tell you every time, but I'm hoping that you will love me and respect me and appreciate me for being honest and true to myself, for one. Because if you ask me, are you coming? If you say, I want you there, I need you there, and will you come be there for me? You might get more of a commitment from me than asking me.
I've done that.
I said might. I said might. I said might. But if you just say, hey, are you going to come? And it's something that's maybe not, I'm just going to hold off because.
But don't you think, I hear what you're saying, Travis.
She hears what I'm saying, but.
But in a way, I also think it's almost like a little bit of a cop-out. If I don't commit to you, then I'm like, but I didn't say I was coming. And I'm going to wait to the very last minute to say I can come.
I'm so glad we only have 5 minutes left. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Did you say cop out?
I sure did. Because I think sometimes that's what it comes at. Because you said, I don't want to commit to coming or not. Because what if I don't feel like it when it comes to time?
But why does that cop out has an extreme negative connotation?
Well, only if you take it that way. Mm-hmm.
No.
Only if you take it that way.
No, hold on a second. Hold on. No, cop out has a definition. No?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so it doesn't matter how I take it. A cop out is not what I want to be represented as, and that's not.
So if somebody asks you to go somewhere, but you don't want to commit, because if you say yes, that means you're going to commit to that. But if you don't say yes and you hold out and string it along, what is happening?
Okay, hold on a second. You saying string it along.
Yeah.
You adding these negative connotations, to my.
Well, what is it then? What do you want to call it? That you're doing a due process?
No.
What's happening? What is that process of you making a decision or not?
But I will make it.
Are you aware that you do it?
Huh?
Are you aware that you do it?
Aware that I don't commit to something that, of course I'm aware that I do it. What do you mean? Am I aware?
Because what is that?
How could I not be?
What is the period of time that's the gap between the invitation and your responding to the invitation of you thinking about it? What is that called?
That's called waiting. And the word of God says, those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. So Okay, we're about to close out. So here's the deal. You're not saying, so am I doing anything wrong by waiting? Yes or no? Yes or no?
No.
No, I'm not doing anything. So here's the deal. You just don't like that I wait. Yes or no?
No, I don't like the fact that you can't make a decision.
Oh no, I can. I just choose not to. Right.
Right. Because you want. Because
No. Now you're talking about because you said. First of all, you said I can't make a decision, but I can. I can make a decision. I have listen. I'm a grown man, and I can decide that I'm not gonna make that decision. I'm not gonna let somebody force me. You remember the conversation we were having? I don't want anyone to force me to do something that I don't want to do. But here's a good thing about it. Let me just say this, and then I'm gonna wrap up. If I tell you I'm coming, or if I tell you I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. So appreciate the fact that if I wait, just get over not liking it. Just get over not liking it because.
But there's something about that.
It goes back to your having a conversation, and there has to be a happy medium.
All you have to do whenever you want me to do something is say, are you going to do it or not? And then I will give you a yes or no if you insist on a yes or no, because I usually do. But when I say to you, I'll let you know.
And somebody says to you, I'll let you know.
I will show them the door and tell them that the street. Right. Well, see, that's because I'm okay with that. I'm okay with someone showing me the door.
And
because
you translate that to.
But you have told me many times, okay, if you can't give an answer, I will not count you and you will not be there. And I've said, okay, tell me how it was when I see you the next time. So I'm not.
But then why do you get all in your feelings when somebody don't invite you?
I don't get in my feelings when somebody doesn't invite me. Ladies and gentlemen. See, I'm outnumbered tonight.
You will be invited again. It's very nice being here.
Very nice seeing you people. But you will be hearing from us in the future. I can promise you, because he has made a decision.
Listen, hold on a second. Here we go. Listen.
Happy holidays.
As we wrap up and recap, remember, if people are disabled or handicapped or temporarily unable to get out of your way fast enough, especially if they're walking or in a wheelchair or on a bicycle, please be cautious and careful. If you're particularly in a car, just be nice and kind and considerate of people anyway. And as we make our way through what is left of the pandemic, be considerate of people that are being hit a little harder. And do like I was about to say, I've just made the best of what I had, what I was faced with. And it wasn't pretty, but I'm okay and I'm grateful for it. With that being said, I want to thank my friends for being with me tonight. Y'all can go ahead and wave goodbye. And
Happy holidays.
I don't know. Thank y'all. These are my good buddies. It's been wonderful. Thank you guys for hanging out. If you'd like to chat with me, please send me an email to travisbridges2@aol.com. That's Travis Bridges and the number 2. I'd love to analyze something for you. My friends, they don't support me 100%, always, all the time. But I know a bee flew in my bonnet for some reason. I like the idea of analyzing situations. I got invited to a live stream tomorrow night. Y'all were here when the call. They said, they appreciate, my thoughtfulness and my honesty. And just because you guys don't appreciate me, someone else does. So I've been invited to go on, and I like the idea of looking at, both sides of the story, and just analyzing, because I could really be that, I can analyze both sides and I can see both sides, and there's good, bad, and everything. So with that, I'm going to still try to continue to analyze situations, mine and everybody else's, that I get the opportunity. Till the next time, do me a small favor. Find somebody that you need to say I love you to. Don't just say it, but show it to them. Until the next time, take good care of yourself, and good night. Okay, by the way, while the music is done, I can't turn off the mic right now. because we're in the makeshift studio. So we just have to, until this goes off, we're gonna have to just be cool. Good night, everybody. Now, I can't wait to look at this. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Even if it's in the color purple, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.